Hey, welcome to Eats Meets West Martial Arts. It's me, Hanshi Ken Herfurth, and I'm with yours truly, Soke, Bobby Briggs. Hello, Soke.
From the east. I'm from the east.
He's from the East, and
Ken's from the west.
and I was born in the West. I don't live there now. I live in
There's
Central
the
America.
east versus or east meets west. I
East
keep
meets
on saying
West. Yeah,
west.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, why don't you please open up and tell us a little about yourself, so the audience gets to know you a little bit.
Ain't a whole lot about me. I was born and raised in North Carolina, and I'm retired in North Carolina.
You were born in the mountains and retired in the mountains. Ain't that right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it took me all my lifetime. Once I left here,
Yeah.
became a police officer, and then when I retired down there as a police officer, I'm like, man, it's time to go back to Western North Carolina. Now, I
Yeah.
was born in Burnsville, North Carolina, and I live in Glade Valley now, which is right outside of Sparta. Two different places, but the same general
Right.
location
Right. And I've
in the
been
mountain, Western North
right.
Carolina.
And I've been to your home where your mom lives. You took me up there
Yeah,
one time. We
yeah,
went and did some martial art. I think we sat on a belt test in that area or a seminar we did,
yeah,
and I got to see it. It's all gorgeous country.
yeah.
And then we went and rode the Blue Ridge Parkway from there, if I
Oh
remember
man,
correctly. Yeah.
we
Uh,
got to do that again sometimes.
yeah, I need to do it in the
That,
fall. When I was up there this fall, and I took Augie up there real quick, just for the audience. Now,
yeah,
Augie's one of my black belts, and he came up for an event up there, and I thought, boy, for autumn, it is. It reminded me a
mm,
lot of Spokane, the Washington State area. The autumn
yeah,
up there is just gorgeous. The autumn here in Arkansas, it's nice. It's nicer than Texas. I love Texas culturally, but beauty wise,
now I have lived in Texas. I'm with you there.
yeah, there's some parts you go like, okay, that's nice. And for
Yeah,
motorcycle riding, it's nice because the weather's
right.
generally good most of the
Yeah,
time. Even when
but
it's
it's not
cold,
beautiful country.
but it's not necessarily beautiful country, right?
Not to me, anyway.
No,
It
no.
might be to somebody, but to me, it's not.
I've heard Texans say, "Oh, that's just gorgeous." I'm like, I was spoiled, I guess, where I came from.
I'm like, you got to get out more often. When people say Texas is gorgeous, I'm
I
like,
know
dude,
you got to get
you got to
out.
get out.
Yeah, I like it culturally, love it culturally.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I mean, you just if you've been around the country at all, it's because you can get the plains where you can still see a good distance but get beauty, but you don't
right.
really get that much of that in Texas. You
Yeah,
get a lot of plains, but it looks like you landed on the moon. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
I
but
remember the
I will say something about the Blue Ridge Parkway that you were talking about a while ago. We have visitors, and we live now where I live at now is right off the Blue Ridge Parkway. Our land backs up to the Blue Ridge Parkway, so there's visitors on the Blue Ridge Parkway all throughout the year. A
mm,
lot of people comes to see it in the wintertime when there's snow on the parkway or ice hanging off some of the rock formations and stuff. People comes in the springtime to see the wildflowers, when they're blooming in the springtime. And of course, summertime, you just can't beat it. It's such a lush green. And
yeah,
then in the fall, you have the changing of the leaves, and all the different colors, when you look out across all the Blue Ridge Mountains and so forth. I mean, I'm telling you, Blue Ridge Parkway is like, God showing off his handiwork. To
yeah.
me, it is
Yeah,
anyway.
it's
It's
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And it reminds me, there are a few places I say that you just sit there and you take it in, and it's one of those. I mean, I've ridden it twice
Right,
with you now, I think, and it's absolutely. And but both times been in summer, and when I was up there driving, I just wanted to give Augie a little bit of a look of it, and then I thought,
right.
boy, I got to come back and ride it in the autumn. That I mean, it's
Well,
just
even when
gorgeous.
you guys were up here, that was first week in November, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
When you and Mary Beth got promoted. Well,
Yeah.
even then, the fall it was like right in between the fall and the winter, so that was kind of like the ugly time for it. Had you come 2-3 weeks earlier,
Yeah.
when all the leaves were in their um, such vibrant colors and
Yeah.
so forth. Oh yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous
We'll have
then.
to make a
But
trip
Bill
sometime.
Wallace was up for that, and he told me, he said, while he was up here, he's like, man, he said this place is gorgeous in the fall, and he was talking. Um, One of his friends called him while he was here, and I guess they asked him where he was at. He said, I'm in Western North Carolina. and it is gorgeous up here with all the leaves. And I'm thinking, dude, all the leaves already gone. That happened like 2, 3 weeks ago. If you had been up here then, it
Yeah.
was really pretty.
Well,
But
I,
that
I,
goes
I have
to
to
show
make
you that the parkway's nice any time of the year.
yeah, I got to make a trip up there in the motorcycle in October sometime then, and we go riding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, brother, probably it's usually like the first 2 weeks in October, and it changes a little bit every year when they're at their peak of the changing of the leaves. But usually it's around that first, second week in October. And it is absolutely, if you like the different colors, the vibrant colors and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It was gorgeous. Well, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about your martial art background and what you do now? I,
Well, martial arts is what I do now.
that's right.
Pretty much, after retiring 2 times, pretty much, I mean, that's pretty much all I do is martial arts. I started dabbling in it, and I say dabbling in it because I never really took it serious when I was a kid, not at the young age that I started. I started developing an interest and dabbling in it, I guess, somewhere around about when I was 7 years old, about in '69. And then I also played sports in school, so it was just like coming and going that nothing really struck in my heart, if you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
My dad boxed, and so I boxed with him a little bit, and my family was poor at that time, so I really couldn't most of the time going martial arts or doing anything with martial arts. I was doing it with neighbors or neighbor kids, because it was all farmland, that was able to go to school and pay for it. And then they'd show me what they learn in class. But, later, I guess throughout my teenage years and so forth and so on is when I really started getting really heavily into martial arts. But yeah, I started in Western North Carolina.
And never
You know,
stop.
huh?
And never
I
stop.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't yet. I mean, they've been a lot of chances where I guess I could have, getting
Yeah,
injured in the military
yeah,
and as well as I do. You retired military, the deployments, the TDYs, the PCSs, and all that stuff. Man, it gives you every opportunity in the world to be like, you know what, I'm just going to stop this.
yeah.
But if you love it enough, you keep going. And of course, that's how we met.
Right,
Both of us in the military, and we both happened to be stationed in the Philippines at the
right.
same
And
time.
in the same career field.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
worked at different
and
jobs at the time. Yeah,
right. So, um, but I've seen a lot of people. They'll come in the military and they'll be like, "Yeah," and I'm sure you've seen this. Yeah, I used to take martial arts, before I joined the military. But once they get in the military, they forget all about it.
yeah.
Or and it's easy to do that because you can get sidetracked. But like you said, I've never stopped, you've never stopped, and here we are today.
Today, yeah, yeah.
you know
I've had periods where I've had to stop teaching, but not,
oh yeah,
but I've not stopped
yeah,
practicing.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And I had a few years when towards the end of my career, I was trying to focus on making sure by the time I retired, I had my degrees.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, I gotta buckle down and do those and get those knocked out. But I was still working out on my own and and not just on my own. There's other military guys. You know how that
hmm
works. Once they say, yeah,
you
let's
can
work out
always find
together.
someone to work out
Yeah,
with.
right. You always find somebody to work out with. And I remember finding this captain. He was a maintainer, and he was not a black belt, but he was taking it from James Cox, whom you have heard passed. You got to
Yeah,
meet him when you came down to Texas to visit me. And he wanted to work out with me. And I always said, if you have another instructor, just get their permission, and then we'll work out. So he
yeah,
did, and James gave him his blessing and said, yeah, you can work out with Ken. And so you always find people like that,
right.
that you get to pick up and work out with
hmm
and help kind of push you a little bit. But it was I bring up the captain because there's others besides him, but it sure felt good hitting an officer.
Yeah, I've been in that
Yeah,
situation
here,
myself.
sign this waiver and I'll be glad to train you.
But I'm going to tell you one of the most awkward times that I've ever had, and it's as far as like officer and stuff and teaching martial arts. When I was stationed in Fayetteville, North Carolina, down at Fort Bragg and Pope, that area down there, Um, I had my commander. When I was stationed down there, I opened up like a small school. I was teaching on the racquetball court at the base gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I had my commander show up one night. My personal commander, Lieutenant Colonel, show up one night, and of course, I saw him come in and so forth, and I was talking to him, and he says, "Hey, I just wanted to come check it out. I heard you were over here teaching." I thought he was just curious, so he talked for a while and he watched it and left. Never said anything to me after he left. And the next time we had practice, I think I was teaching there like 2 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week. But the next time we had practice, he showed up again in workout clothes. And he said, "Hey, I just signed up at the desk out front." He said, "I'm going to take your classes." And man, I was so nervous because I was like a E friggin' nothing,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he's a lieutenant colonel. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm a black belt and he's a white belt.
Well, yeah. Well, when you're young
How is
and you're
this going to work out?
yeah.
It
Well,
was
when
awkward as crap.
yeah, when you're an airman and you're new, and it's kind of a weird situation to be in. I
Yeah.
remember when I had that captain. I don't remember his last name. He's a nice guy. But I was a master sergeant, and it was basically just he and I for that
Yeah.
time period. It may lasted 6 months, and then how someone PCSs, and then I find a new person to work out with.
Right.
But so when you're a master, most time, unless you got just a really idiotic captain, they kind of like it's fine. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it. But as
Yeah.
an airman, so I didn't worry about it. Hey, you asked to come train with me. I don't care what rank you are.
That's right.
But when you're
Yeah.
an airman first class or senior airman, or even
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
a young staff sergeant, you're more a little bit like, okay, how's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
captains are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, well, you
You
find
know?
as you get up in rank, you find like, okay, another
Yeah.
captain. Yeah,
But as your personal commander, and then
that's worse. And a
I
lieutenant
think
colonel is
you
worse.
know what? He
Yeah,
may have been a full bird. I don't
yeah,
remember. I
yeah,
know he was a colonel. I don't know if he was lieutenant colonel or a colonel. But anyway, I was like, man,
yeah,
mm,
yeah. No, that'd be
this
that'd be
this
that'd be a
gonna
little
be
nervous.
touch and go because I believe in reaching out and touching you when you spar.
That's right.
How's this going to work? Because I can't really bust my commander in the
Oh,
chops.
well, when I was in Greenland, I had a class there, and one of the guys' name was David Melky, and he broke his rib in the class from one of my sidekicks, and so he had to go to the hospital. They actually admitted him for a couple days, and it was at the
Really?
base, and of course the base is always worried because it's Greenland. If it's too bad, they got to fly somebody out.
Yeah.
So my commander, who was a Captain Roth, really neat guy, super neat guy, he says, "Yeah, Colonel Roman wants to speak to you." So we went and had a meeting because he was the base commander. He's like, I
Yeah.
only have 130 military on this base. I need you not to hospitalize them. So I'm in his office. He was pretty nice about it, but he asked me a lot of
Yeah.
questions about what I do, and I said, we got. I don't know if you talked to any of the people else in my class. I got a lot of Danish people and Greenlandics and other GIs. We warm up for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and take a break, and then we work out and we do spar, and the sparring has contact, but we're not trying to hurt each other. And so he says, well, you can keep that up, but if I get another broken rib, I may have to just shut it down. So I was like, yes, sir. Well, it's very much the same way there, Soke. I know when I first started, I was 13 years old. I'd wanted to take it for a while before then because I saw a Bruce Lee movie when I was 8, Way of the Dragon, and I was like hooked, and then finally was able to take
Yeah.
it. But I think the seriousness really comes, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I know when and I hope this doesn't come off bragging. Tell me if it does. I was naturally talented, and when I was a teen. So I think what really made me get better was really when I started training under you. And I say this because what I really didn't have was, I'm not saying I was lazy, but I didn't really have to have a hard work ethic because
Mm.
everybody in my belt rank or even people higher in my belt rank, it kind of came naturally. I could usually just take.
Yeah.
So when I was a green belt, I was beating up the brown belts and some of the black belts. And when I was a brown belt, I was beating up almost everybody.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of like, well, okay, I'll do my push-ups and sit-ups and do my stretch and play Bruce Lee at home. And then we find out, that you got a school on the base and you invite me to come to it. We found martial arts and I go there and I'm like, man, I'm getting my butt whooped. This is hurting.
I would
And
say you got it whooped.
I
I think we complimented each other very well. Let's put it that way.
but but
Because both of us like the same thing. We like to work out.
we like to work.
We like to challenge, and we like to fight.
We like to fight, right? And but I think that's what,
Work out.
if anything, was the idea that I had to learn. You have to work out more. I had to get my cardiovascular going, not where I didn't get tired. And the contact level with your class was much different than what I'd had. I'm not saying we were wimps back then, but it was much more. It was we never went like full contact. You know what I mean? It was always medium at best. And for you, it depended on the day, but we could get into it. And then, but also the mental, and that's what I learned more than anything else from you, is the mental. You can look pretty, and we've all seen those guys. But if you don't have mental fitness, for lack of a better word, if you don't have a mental fitness, and you don't have even, I would say, a spiritual fitness inside that, you can say, I can persevere through anything. My gut and my heart and my mind tell me I can persevere. I learned anything. I'm not going to make it, no matter how good I look, or how quick. Somebody's going to take me out, and I think that's why I fell in love with what we were doing there and what you were teaching, because it brought that out of me, which had been dormant in the other schools. The other schools, hey man, look at what Ken can do with his kicks. Woo, that's cool. Praise Ken. And then you think you're better than you are, I mean, and then you find out, no, you're not really. You get the right instructor, you find out, no, you're not really all that good. You're not bad, but you
were that good.
You got to, but I mean, I got clocked a few times, and I also got tired a few times, and I'm more of you every day. I worked out, but I know from the time we trained, within just probably 4 months, I had, especially my hands, had exponentially. I mean, from what you taught me, it was not even double. It was more like 4 times more. Yeah. I was much better at my hands and better shape and better mental fitness than I ever was before. And when someone awakens that in you, you fall in love with it.
Yeah.
I
think think from my perspective on all that was, all the classes, obviously, by the time I got stationed in the Philippines, I was a black belt, and I'd been teaching for quite a few years. And, you have people come in that starts as white belt, and then you'll have people come in, that may have already gotten a green belt or a brown belt or something from another style. And all the classes that I had taught since I left my instructor when I joined the military, all the classes that I had taught, I never really had a challenge until I got in the Philippines. And you came to class. And you presented that challenge to me. And I know, you always talk, like how much it helped you out, but you have no idea how much it helped me out too, because up until that time, I mean, I could go in and teach a class and pretty much take anybody in the class and do whatever I wanted to with them, and without breaking a sweat. And it really I never really had a real serious challenge until I got in the Philippines, and you started, because you were a red belt, which is the equivalent to the brown belt
in Tons of dough. Yeah.
So I had crossed you over to a brown belt and stuff like that. But what you presented to me was a challenge that I'd never had. And, after I left my instructor. Now, when I was with my instructor, I always had a challenge, because my instructors were good. And I always had an instructor. But when I got out on my own and was teaching, I never really had a challenge till you come along. And then when you come along, I think it helped us both because we challenged each other.
Oh, yeah.
I helped you a lot with your hands. You helped me a lot with my feet. We worked, and we always discussed about setting up, the person that you're fighting and stuff like that, setting them up and stuff. And we worked a lot of concepts with each other and try to own each other.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too. There's no egos. Now the one thing we did, it's probably good, but it's probably because I'm brain dead now, thanks to you. But sometimes we'd say, okay, it's been a long week, long day. We had class. People don't realize how long our classes would go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, we'd go 3 hours easily. Crazy. It was set for 2, but we would easily go 3. Easily.
That was everybody else.
That was it, right. Sometimes it was like, okay, guys, just bow out, go, and we're going back for more.
Yeah, and you and I would stay, like class sometimes would end, correct me if I'm wrong, what time do we have class? 6 to 8?
6 to 8, yes, sir.
6 to 8, and sometimes class would end at 8 o'clock, and everybody'd leave. And you and I would never get out there till 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, midnight, right, easily.
Because we'd still be going at it.
We'd be doing something. Even, I remember times we would even change our clothes, and then we'd be sitting there talking, well, what about this, or in the parking lot, I remember once he just said, hey, why don't you just come over to the house? I can get Becky to make us something. It's like 11 o'clock at night, because I didn't have
But
to
that
go
was the
work.
norm for
It was
us.
the norm, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the norm.
You
Yeah.
don't see you don't see that in today's day and age. You just don't.
No, no. So we got there, and I can't remember. We ate, and I think we were there till 2 in the morning or something like that.
Shoot, we yeah,
I called
probably
Joanne on your
brought the
phone and says,
sun
"Hey,
up.
I'm gonna be late. We're over here talking stuff. We could just go for, and we're kind of like that now too. When I come to see you, you come to see
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Or we go for a ride together. We can be at the hotel just laughing like crazy forever.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
we would break things down, and you made me a much better fighter. I mean,
yeah. Well, you did me too.
3 4 times higher easily. And it was and that was just in a short amount of time. I mean, after that, I just got even better and better and better thanks to you. So it was really a great. I tell people this all the time. I know we've talked about it. It's the best, like year and a half, 2 years until we we had to close the base of
Absolutely.
martial arts I ever had
Yeah,
by far. Yeah,
yeah.
and I've enjoyed.
And I wouldn't say not. I wouldn't say it was just the better martial arts, but it was a better time in life.
Yes, yes,
I mean,
yeah,
everything was so much better. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
my gosh, some of the times that we had. I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
know.
It was just great. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was just great.
laughing and joking and
Oh yeah, oh yeah, just fabulous fun times. Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, and you could just go. We could just go forever. But people don't realize how hard we really would push it and
oh yeah,
train and get into and then we. I think you did the first kickboxing match with Tom Daniels, and then
yeah.
then you got me to fight, and then all of a sudden
Mhm.
you're fight you and I. By the time we were done, you and I were fighting. So
Yeah,
and
yeah. You know what? I still have that. I've got a video. It's on VHS tape.
oh, is it?
I've got a video somewhere here in the house of a fight, and I don't know. Somebody set it up on a tripod. You remember that big VHS camera that
Yes, yeah,
we used to
yeah.
have
Those
in the
big
day?
old,
I
yeah,
mean,
those big
yeah,
old.
you can put it on your shoulders
Yeah.
and take and got a tripod and set that joker up on a tripod and filmed. We had a 15-round fight in the dojo.
Yeah.
And I've still got that VHS tape where you and I went, I think it was 15 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
You
Jeez.
tell me who does shit like that today. It don't happen, man.
No, it doesn't.
You
No,
know?
no, it doesn't
And I
happen.
mean,
No.
we literally just, I mean, we were both spent by the time it was over with,
Yeah.
but I still think probably the best rounds in that fight was probably the last 2 or 3.